Hello and welcome to part 30, yes 30, of the Knights of Cydonia Road to Glory series on Xpert 11. In the last part, the big game between us and Deportivo Celso turned out to be a boring 0-0 draw. The result, however, was beneficial for both of us as we both leapfrogged Salvador City out of the relegation zone with 17 points for all three of us. Going into this game, the King Punks led the division on 24 points, Roma Returner were just 2 points behind on 22, and Real Peeps a further point behind on 21. To say it was close is an understatement. But the relegation situation is even closer, with us, Deportivo Celso and Salvador City all on 17 points, with only goal difference separating us. Both Pakistan FC and Roma United are already relegated, and both had recent managerial changes after their managers were sacked for relegation. Pakistan FC got a new manager in Man Rebedal Val, while Roma United, on the day of the upcoming match, got a new manager in Elegato. However, there turned out to be some pretty suspicious circumstances behind the new Roma United manager's appointments. We'll get to that a bit later. Right now, let's get to the teams. Salvador City put a lot of thought into how their tactics are going to work out in this game. They've played a 3-5-2 formation in this game, which they haven't used previously this season as far as I'm aware. Their formation today is Jimmy Walker in goal, a back three of Narcisio Teresa, the guy who I can't say his name so I'm just going to call him Bob, and Mondola Soji. Midfield of Biggins, Cleven, Oshona Flaz, Detel and Myhill, and a front two of Pearson and Onario Azera. You may recall against Deportivo Celso that Raymond Hargreaves was badly injured. With him and Santa Maria on the treatment table, it limits our options somewhat, but I've decided to give a recall to Pirro Mejia of all people. You know, the only guy that's left from when I took over the team? Yeah, that one. The team we've gone with is Aratani in goal, a back four of Gorga, Roddick, Rastedt and Van der Kreis, a midfield of Canamassas, Mejia, Cayolla, Tilbe and Kvyatkovsky, and a front lone man of Jose Juan Casado, who really needs some more match experience. Let's go live to the Piscoscia for this crucial game of the season. The captains are Mondola Soji and Gavril Gorga. The referee is I'll be back with a high skill and low harshness rating, and Knights of Cydonia in the yellow strip because our first choice colour is already taken by Salvador City. And the game gets underway, and it's a very cagey start to this game with 7 minutes of the card here now. Pirro Mejia has been yellow carded for shirt pulling. Well, that's just typical. Pirro Mejia returning to the starting lineup in place of the injured Raymond Hargreaves, and he goes and picks up a booking. 21 minutes in, and nothing really seems to be happening in this half. But meanwhile, we can report there's a shock result elsewhere in the league. Roma United, yes, Roma United, bottom of the league, Roma United have taken the lead against Deportivo Celso. So as things stand, we go up to 4th place and Deportivo Celso would move down to 6th. And that's the end of the first half with no chances whatsoever. Let's hope the second half is better as we get underway now. And there's a chance in the 46th minute by Sidri Detel. And it's easy for Aratani. Well, that's the first chance of the game that goes to Salvador City, which isn't a good sign for us, I must say, in this crucial game. There's a free kick in the 52nd minute, this is pretty dangerous. Mondola Soji, free kick straight on goal, and he scores! Mondola Soji for Salvador City, direct into the back of the net. That could be a priceless goal for them, but there's only 1-0 lead. Can we get back into this game? But no, there's no chance for Salvador City. Onario Azera, and the ball sails over the crossbar. Wow, this is a complete contrast to the first half so far. There's constant chances, but they're all going Salvador City's way. Lob outside for Oshona Flaz, smashes into the crossbar. This first half is so exciting. I'm getting my words muddled up with these long names that Salvador City have. Frank Pearson, and it hits the left post. 62 minutes in, and it's 1-0 Salvador City, and as it stands, this would put us in the relegation zone. And there's another chance here for Salvador City. Frank Pearson again, and it smashes into the crossbar. You have to wonder how Salvador City aren't more than 1-0 up. And we can make them pay for them here because we have a chance in the 79th minute with Cayolla. And it's saved by Jimmy Walker of all people. That's right, young Jimmy Walker of all people has saved it. And Alistair Cleven has tapped over the crossbar by Aratani. This is a very cagey affair here, but Salvador City have got a breakaway. Onario Azera tries a well-placed shot, and he scores! And that might be the nail in the coffin that sends us down to Division 7, but it's still far from over yet. Barely weighed on from Mondola Soji here, but it's looking like Salvador City have won this game, and there's very little we can do to turn this around now, unless there's a dramatic comeback on the cards, which there isn't. And that, guys, is that. We have failed to beat either of our relegation rivals, so it's looking likely we will take the drop now, what with Roma Returner and the King Punks, our final two opponents, and us in 6th place. So what went wrong? Well, I basically overthought it all and switched playmakers, anticipating him to hit a certain playmaker. He hit the one I switched to instead, which didn't help matters. Coupled with his surprise setup and stronger team, and unfortunately we had no chance in the end. We might not have had much chance even if we had got the tactics right, which is extremely disappointing, but that is Division 6 unfortunately, and we were just simply not good enough for this division. Despite this, we didn't disgrace ourselves. We had 12 easy points, however we also got extra points on top of that, like the win against Real Peeps in dramatic circumstances, as well as the 2 draws against Salvador City and Deportivo Celso, which took us to a great 17 points, and it would be such a shame to be relegated on this points total. It's a bit too soon for us to decide this, especially with our chances of escaping relegation, but I'm going to take what's best for the club now and get relegated this season. Alright, come on, at least let me explain my reasoning. My thoughts are that if we land in an easier division next season, then we'll be able to win the division and get a ton of prize money to help us in a promotion charge the following season. This is a bit of a gamble in case we don't end up in such a division, but I think it's a worthy gamble to take. The game against Salvador City was Pirro Mejia's last ever game for the club. Aww. Yeah, it's sad to have to release a player who played 46 games for the club, but ultimately he was going to go down in the change report, and if our youngsters get the double jump we expect them to, then they'll have exactly the same skill level as Pirro Mejia, and Mejia would essentially be useless. So Mejia had to leave for these youngsters to be able to progress properly, rather than being stuck in a rut like he was. Anyway, it is time to see the team of the week. No Knights of Cydonia players made it in this week because frankly we didn't deserve to have any, so the team of the week this time is Charlie Sanders for the King Punks. A back 4 of Anti-Franca the King Punks, Mondola Soji Salvador City, Bob Salvador City, and Narcilio Teresa Salvador City. A midfield of Lars Ake Olsen Reaper Roma Returner, Alistair Cleven Salvador City, Edward Mason Roma Returner, and Felipe Pouchet Deportivo Celso, and a front 2 of Frank Pearson Salvador City and Amancio Guerra the King Punks. The manager of the round is Pezar of Salvador City, and fair play, he got his tactics just right. With DV now the main focus, let's check up on exactly that. I have to say though, these are some hugely impressive DVs here. 6 players are currently on 18 DV, while a further 2 are on 17. The only ones that aren't are Jose Juan Casado, who's been injured once this season, on 16, and unfortunately Aquila Santa Maria is stuck on 14 with 2 games to play. He'll need all the playing time he can get. He won't even reach 16 DV this season, and it's starting to look like a bit of a waste unless we can get him to double jump after season 31. That would seemingly be it, however... Sergio Canamasas recently bought an old house in a quiet country village. He then had the house knocked down and replaced with a huge modern mansion. The local residents are very angry about this, as they believe he has spoiled the appearance of the village, and Sergio Canamasas starts to receive hate mail and threats. As a result, he cannot enjoy his new home and feels stressed. His form suffers as a result. Serves him right really, although it does make it a bit awkward for us wanting to keep him on 18 form for the final 2 games of the season. The King Punks stay atop of the division on 27 points, thanks to a 3-0 victory over Pakistan FC. In the big game between Roma Returner and Real Peeps, which could potentially decide promotion, Roma Returner won 3-1. This means Roma Returner are now on 25 points, 4 points ahead of Real Peeps. They've got a lot of catching up to do if they want that playoff spot. Deportivo Celso's win over Roma United lifts them to 4th place, while Salvador City leapfrog us out of the relegation zone and leave us with on a lonely 17 points compared to Deportivo and Salvador City's 20. Roma United's new manager nearly pulled off a shock result by taking the lead against Deportivo Celso, however they came from behind to win the game. But the stuff regarding Roma United doesn't end here. Several hours after the game, talented young defender Geert Vaart of Roma United was sold at a bargain £1.1 million price to a club in the final league. Sounds like the deal of the century, doesn't it? But further investigation, the manager of the club Vaart was sold to suspiciously had the same details as the guy who took over Roma United. It turns out that the guy in charge of the final league club had been making alt accounts which joined teams which had players he liked the look of, which are then sold for bargain prices to construct a super team that was the 11th most valuable team in the entire final league. The alt accounts would then leave the club after a few days of transfer activity once the player that the main account wanted had been acquired. Said manager of Montevideo was then banned for cheating. I guess it just goes to show that cheats never prosper. Anyway, things are looking bleak for us, so we're going to take the final few steps towards development in our last 2 games of the season. So, we'll see you next time. If you've watched all 30 episodes so far, then you deserve massive credit for putting up with my ramblings for so long. Anyway, will Aquilus Santa Maria become a viable first team player? Will our decisions to play for DV affect who gets promoted? Find out next time on Xpert 11 Road to Glory.